The new Warriors outrage has got to be one of the most pathetic and just annoying, and just why outrages of modern mob comics or comics in general. It was just, it was a thing. It was a hot minute. Some people are still complaining about it nowadays. Very rarely. But to be honest, the book, I didn't care. It was one bad idea. And whatever. The book has never even come out. It was probably gonna get what, about 4 or 5 issues, and then it'll get cancelled, and then no one would remember. And but people on the internet were just making this massive uproar. But what for? Uh, Snowflake and Safe Place? Who cares? I actually thought Safe Space's powers were kind of interesting, I guess. Not being able to protect yourself could be something. Doesn't I don't know if that works very well as a superhero, but at least the powers weren't just the same thing, which is something a lot of people like, oh, why can't the powers be all different? But I don't know. Like, even the internet gaslights, I guess that works. It's comics. What do you expect? Somehow Acid gave Matt Murdock like super hearing sense and stuff. Like, what? It's not like it's every episode's just gonna be him versus internet gas. It's obviously just some random invention. It's not that deep. Like, I'd only say my biggest problem is why is Speedball doesn't really look like himself. He kind of looks very de-aged, but I don't know. I also hate how like people who never talk about comic books just bring up this, and that's the only thing they've ever talked about. And then they'll go off and they'll go watch anime and manga. Oh, obvious bias. And it paints such a bad picture as well. It's like, oh, comic books are all these nonsense. Like, it's like one book that never came out as well, and you guys are getting mad at it. It's like, come on. Even, what was it? There was an X-Men book, Children of the Atom. Massive outroar about that. Oh, they just replaced all the X-Men characters and gave them the same powers, but it was an interesting concept because the whole thing was they lost their powers, so they're using the X-Men, or they're given the X-Men powers, sort of thing. And overall, the story wasn't like a masterpiece. It wasn't great. It was just okay. And that's what like people who are anti SJW literally said, that it was just okay. But I'm sure the new Warriors would be the same. Like people would read it and like, oh, where's? I thought this was supposed to be trash. But yeah, I just really don't like how nothing good is ever focused on. It's always outrageous. Always like, I'm sure if you even look up comic books now and you see these random YouTubers saying, "Oh, I don't like something because," I'll look it up right now. Oh yeah, I guess most of it's positive, but that's on my actual YouTube account. I need it. Oh, there's still one Yellow Flash video, but that's recommended because I was watching him to understand why people act like him. But yeah, uh, so I guess my main message is comic books just aren't what's trending. Like, it's not at all reflective of the average views, and one bad book is very common. If you look at the 90s, the 80s, you can see tons of just what were they thinking ideas. And sure, I don't even know if it needs to be called Snowflake and Safe Space probably do. That was a bit cringy. Like they had character names. Even though Snowflake's powers was just a bit boring. Just Iceman, but a lot worse. And oh, she can throw shurikens. That's so cool. And of course, they're gonna be out of touch. And you know what happens to out of touch books? It gets cancelled. So yeah, just if you're one of those people that fall for the bait, just please like actually pick up a comic book. And don't pick up a random comic book. Pick up something that someone else has recommended to you. Alright? Comment below your thoughts.